Questioning religious authority isn't blasphemy. It's a moral imperative. And if you need biblical proof, let me tell you about two priests who are so corrupt that they make, church scandals look pretty tame. So there's Hophni and Phinehas, the sons of Eli. And these guys are running the temple at Shiloh. They've turned God's house into their little personal kingdom. And here's how their scam works. You show up to make a sacrifice, something deeply personal and sacred. Maybe you've saved for months to bring this offering. But when you get there, the priests show up with like a 3-pronged fork, like they're at a medieval barbecue, stabbing into people's sacrifices and taking whatever the heck they want. And here's the kicker. They're violating actual religious law. There's a specific order. You burn the fat for Yahweh first, and then the priests get their designated portion. But these bros, they want their meat raw, they want it now, and they want the best cuts. Try to follow the actual rules, they're going to threaten literal violence. Imagine showing up to church and the pastor's like, hey, nice offering envelope. Be a shame if something happened to your kneecaps. This reminds me of a pastor I once knew who from the pulpit would ask for deals when getting like a new car or discounts when having work done on their home. He'd be like, hey, anybody here sell cars? The Lord's servant needs a good deal. Using their spiritual platform to extract favors from the congregation. And it's the same energy, wielding religious authority to get what you want from people who came to worship. But Hophni and Phinehas don't stop at the offering table. They're also sleeping with the women who serve at the temple entrance. These are women who came to worship, to serve God, and these priests are exploiting that vulnerability. It is the ultimate abuse of power, taking advantage of people who came seeking the divine. And they have a dad, Eli, who knows everything that's going on, and his response is basically the ancient equivalent of, now boys, people are talking. No real consequences, just a disappointed dad speech while the corruption continues. Now, look, ministers, I think they deserve fair compensation for the work. It's demanding, important labor. But there's a difference between being appropriately paid and leveraging your pulpit and your power for personal perks. When you're using your position to pressure congregants for favors, it's exploitation, not compensation. Real spiritual leadership isn't about what you can take, it's about how you can serve. The text says that Hophni and Phinehas' sin was very great in the sight of the Lord because they made people despise bringing offerings. They turned something meant to connect people with the divine into something exploitative and gross. And when religious leaders abuse their authority, they don't just hurt individuals, they poison people's entire relationship with faith. This pattern is not ancient history. How many congregations have watched their pastor use prayer requests as networking opportunities or turn every sermon into a subtle pitch why the congregation should take care of their personal needs? So when someone tells you that questioning church leadership is touching God's anointed or whatever, remember this story. Even in ancient scripture, God's pretty clear. Corrupt religious leaders deserve to be called out. The real blasphemy isn't questioning authority. It's using God's name to manipulate and exploit people who came seeking the divine. Your faith community should make you feel closer to God, not like you're being shaken down for favors, period.